heart and nothing left to say. Battling shadows, walking in the rhythm of the life I didn't choose. From the silent cries and the darkest nights to the moments I almost gave up the fight. I was lost in the echoes of a hollow sound, searching for a solid piece of ground. But I'm Love Marlene, 411, and I'm standing tall. I'm living proof that you can survive it all. From the 411 to the depths of my soul, I'm taking back the pieces, making them whole. It's a journey of healing, a path to the light. We're breaking every curse and winning the fight. From my heart to yours, let the healing start. We're making peace with the past and broken parts. It's more than just a story, it's a brand new lens, seeing where the trauma stops and where the light begins. Breaking generational chains, link by link, learning how to feel, learning how to think, guarding my spirit, my mind and my peace. Watching the anxiety and the tension release. I found a self-love that was always meant to be a gift from God, now living in me. No more worthlessness, no more shame. I'm calling out the joy and I'm calling it by name. I am conscious of the seeds we sow. Watch how the garden starts to grow. But I'm Love Marlene, 411, and I'm standing tall. I'm living proof that you can survive it all. From the 411 to the depths of my soul, I'm taking back the pieces, making them whole. It's a journey of healing, a path to the light. We're breaking every curse and winning the fight. From my heart to yours, let the healing start. We're making peace with the past and broken parts. Spread the love, spread the light, live your best life, hold on tight. I'm Love Marlene, 411. The journey has just begun.
Hello.
Hola.
Hi. Hey, Miss Nexie.
How are you, Miss
I'm
Marlene?
doing great. Oh, Miss Nexie, let's premiere our new Sip and Chat song.
Oh, let's do that.
Okay, let's do it.
Pull up a chair, leave your worries at the door. Whatever's on your mind, you don't have to carry it no more. The steam is rising from the cup, the vibe is feeling right. We're diving deep into the soul, we're searching for the light. From the aches and the pains to the joys we finally find. It's the sip and chat, the healing of the mind. It's Marlene and Miss Nexie, side by side. No secret too heavy, nowhere left to hide. They're pouring out their hearts just to fill yours up again. A conversation started between two good friends. Whoa, this is the Sip and Chat, the weekly place to be, where we talk about the heart and we set the spirit free. Pour a little love, take a little sip. Life is a journey, the message is clear. Love is all you need, love is all, and you'll find it right here. Yeah. Matters of the heart, yeah, we're breaking down the walls. Learning how to stand up even after all the fall. Self-love is the lesson, self-care is the key. Becoming the person that you're meant to be. So watch the videos and join the weekly flow. We're planting the seeds to help your garden grow. wisdom. Because you deserve to feel better, you deserve to heal. Where we talk about the heart, and we set the spirit free. Pour a little love. The message is clear. Love is all you need. Love is all, and you'll find it right here. Sip and chat. Sip and chat. Love yourself better. Love yourself better. Weekly podcast. Pouring out that soul. Marlene and Miss Dixie, making hearts whole. Oh yeah, making hearts whole.
I love it. Let me pause it. Okay, I love it. Isn't it a beautiful song?
It sure is, Miss. It sure is.
Yeah, all the words are true. So, everybody, welcome to the Sip and Chat. We're back for another episode. I am Love Marlene 411. And
Miss Nexie.
yeah,
Just simply Miss Nexie.
yes. So, today, guys, we're talking about brokenness. I feel like this is a very important topic. You know, over here on this channel, we talk about trauma healing and not just getting over things, but developing a better mindset, learning lessons, achieving personal growth, and all of it. That's why we're here.
Yes, ma'am. And not
Yeah.
just getting over it, but also we're here to let people know so they can understand that regardless of what you go through, um, no matter, I guess, what you do with yourself, if something is wrong, um, how can I put it? We're here to tell you that we've been there, right? We felt the same way. We in our journey, ups and downs, it's normal to feel that way, and we're keeping it real. We're not saying you're gonna get over everything and you're gonna be okay, but we're saying you can work at it and be the best version of you.
Yeah. Because in this life, that's what counts, being your best self. And we can't tell you how that's going to look for you. All we can do is share our experiences, and hopefully you can get something from it and apply it to your life. Mhm.
Yes. Yes,
So,
yes.
Miss Nexie, today we're talking about brokenness. And the reason why I wanted to talk about brokenness is because we see so much people uh that are broken, but the part of it that I don't like is that you only see the people who crash out, the people
Mm,
who, they wind up in prison, or they unalive themselves or other people, or they have these mental health disruptions, things like that. Those are the things that we see in day-to-day society, on the TV, on social media, in our families, just out and about in our day-to-day life. We see the part where when people snap, but we're trying to get to everybody before that, before you're going to crash out, before the meltdown, before you make a really bad decision. We want to talk about the things that causes us to get broken.
yeah, of course. And again, I saw the title, and it's, once broken, forever broken. And that is very true. Not on everything in life, but on things that have hurt you, have made a huge scar in your heart. Um, Once that is broken, you're always carrying and looking at that scar. You never trust the same. You don't love the same. You don't maybe kind of like socialize the same, raise your children differently because of that unbrokenness, right?
Yes, I agree with that, Miss Nexie, because coming from some of the places and spaces we've come from, it's amazing. I look back at my life and the things that I personally have endured, and I ask myself all the time, like, how am I still here? It's remarkable. No, for real. And I know I'm not the only one. Miss Nexie is not the only one. It's a lot of individuals that have been through a lot of things that there's a lot of reasons why we shouldn't be here anymore.
Hmm.
There's a lot of reasons we should have throw in the towel and give up. So let's first start talking about that brokenness. And what are some of the things that causes us to be broken? And I cannot speak from my personal experience. My brokenness has come from some of the things that people have said, some of the things that people have done. And namely, we're just going to put it out there and say, namely, the brokenness comes from abuse, all forms of abuse, emotional, verbal, financial, spiritual. It's all sorts of abuse that happens in day-to-day life. But what is it about that when someone does something so traumatic, something so hurtful to us? What is the difference? Why do some people something happen and another person can just snap back like that? That's
It,
really what I want to understand, because some people, it's like they'll bounce back. Okay, I got to get over it, and then they'll move on. And other people get into the addictions and all sorts of addictions.
yeah, I wondered that myself, Miss Marlene, but um, for me, brokenness has been my um entire life motto. I think I can say that because uh, my parents got separated when I was 5 years old, which is the time you start developing, right? Your
Mhm.
brain, it's fully developed, and you start getting all those memories, building those memories, getting your little personality, everything. And so I think from that perspective, it has been a lifetime of brokenness, right? We're gonna add the essay, that I experienced for many years, from trusted family and people that were supposed to love me and protect me, not harm me, right? So I was already surviving, the being left, and I had siblings and my father, but still, I didn't know that I was broken, but I was because of that. And then the essay,
Mhm.
that adds an extra layer of, completely shattering everything inside of you. The person that you were supposed to develop to be, maybe someone a bit with the ability to love fully, trustfully, carefully, and be free spirited, they killed it because the essay started almost at the same time that I was left, right?
Mhm.
So right there, I'm already on survival mode at the early age of 5. So I am an empath. I'm someone that feels everybody, their feelings. I'm always trying to help, but again, because I am someone that has been in survival mode, this whole time, I I can feel everybody else's brokenness, their feelings. Sometimes it drains me. And I'm sure you go through this, Miss Marlene, that some people just drain you, right?
Yes.
But I have never been able to know, I'm sorry, going to know what I would have become, of would have been, if I would have not been, in broken at such a young age.
Mhm.
And that's the one thing that I keep on playing in my mind, and is the one thing of why I took so much care of my girls, my boys. Like I overprotected them because I wanted them to develop to, their full person without any brokenness. But I
Yeah.
always wonder that. And how am
Yeah.
I still here too, Miss Marlene? How am
Yeah.
I still here?
Yeah, but for me, Miss Nexie, mine stemmed from not just sexual abuse. Mine also was feeling invisible in a big family.
Hmm.
I don't know how to explain that any other way um, than to say that. Um, you could have a lot of people that lots of relatives, or you could have lots of friends. You could be popular, very intelligent. Like when they say they have everything going for them, but if the people that you want the love from are not giving it to you, that was my issue. My
Then you
brokenness
have
came.
nothing going.
Yeah, for me, my brokenness came from not feeling accepted from the people that were, related to me blood wise. And I
Yeah,
know a
they
lot
were
of people,
supposed to. They were
yeah.
supposed to accept you with all your virtues and your, defects or whatever it is called, right? These people were supposed to be unconditionally your support, your rock, your, cheerleaders of whatever you were gonna uh, become, or you were becoming at that point. And again, we
Mhm.
go back to, I come from a big family, not as big as yours, but yeah, I am from a big family, a large family. I'm the baby of six, and I have a big gap between the brother before me and myself. So I was loved. I'm not gonna take that away from my family, my sisters, my dad and my some of my brothers. I was very, very loved and spoiled and taken care of. But again, because of what happened, even the relationship, we're very close. Don't take me wrong, my sisters and I are very close.
Mhm.
But I didn't tell them until recently, probably about 10 years ago, that I told my sisters what happened to me and how long it happened and who did it. They were crying. They had no idea that I had gone through that. And they were so sad because they were blaming themselves because they didn't protect me enough, or because they never even asked why I was behaving the way I was, why I was doing the things I was doing, right? And my sister, especially my eldest, the eldest of all of us, my older sister was very sad because she's been my mom since I was born. She was the one
Mhm.
always taking care of me. So again, even the relationship between us, because of what happened, and because I was in survival mode, and because I was so embarrassed, so broken, so everything, it hindered our ability to bond fully, because I was always so afraid that they were going to know, or what was going to happen, right? If they knew.
Yeah.
So it messes with everything. Now, with you is different because you came from a large family, and even though you're the baby, but there were others before you close in age to you, I'm sure.
Yes, I have a brother that's 4 years older
Mhm.
than me, and then it goes up 4, 6, 8, 10,
Yeah,
12.
I think
Yeah.
mine was either 8 or 9 years. I think he's either 8 or 9 years older than me. So I had nobody else but me growing up in that family. And so, but yeah, you had a lot of, and you were already, probably, I don't know how your relationship was with, your parents, your mom, your dad. But you were already competing with so much that
Mhm.
it must have been very difficult to be seen. And I'm sorry for that, Miss Marlene. I'm really, really
Yeah.
sorry for that.
Yeah, it's one of those things in life that it's not that you're saying get over it, but I, like my therapist told me, you never get over it, but you learn how to get through it.
Hmm. You learn
And
to live with it.
Yeah, you learn to live with it, and until you go through something heavy, it's easy for somebody on the outside to say get over it, or why are you still talking about it, because there's always going to be judgmental people, or they'll say, oh, something like that happened to me and I'm just fine. But the majority of people who say that they're fine, they aren't.
And you know what I say to those people? That's you.
Mhm.
I'm different than you are. So if you're okay, then hey, hurrah,
Yeah,
awesome for
happy for
you.
you. Yeah.
Yes, yay. Let me celebrate you. But I'm not you and you're not me. So you don't understand how I feel, my feelings, or why I am who I am.
Mhm.
Right. So when people say, oh, just get over it. Oh my God, it was so long ago. And you're thinking like you have no idea what that did to me or what it does to me or how much I have had to work through therapy, through self-help books and all of that to be able to be here right now, and for you to dismiss my feelings and my inability to be like you, be okay like you are, that hurts,
Mhm.
and is disrespectful, right? Because you don't know what I go through, because you don't feel what I do, like I don't feel the way you do.
Yeah, and there's a lot of people who are just they're cold. And
Hmm.
I think that that's part of the brokenness of some people, because that life is about surviving. And some people, their brokenness makes them have a cold heart.
Yep.
This
Um,
no matter what's going on, they're going to be cold.
Miss Marlene, it's like being victimized all over again, right? Kind of
Mhm.
like over and over and over when people dismiss how you feel. Um, I've been separated for a long time, Miss Marlene. I'm divorced now, right? You know this. A
Mhm.
lot of our chatters know that too. But I wanted to talk to you really quick, to all of you, on my son is special needs, and he got diagnosed with autism at the age of 5.5.
Yes.
When the diagnosis came, I was broken. It broke my heart. I couldn't grasp what the doctor was saying, because they were telling me this, and the specialist and everything, and I couldn't hear them anymore. The minute they said there is something wrong and is this, I stopped. Like I couldn't hear anymore. Like I will see them moving their mouth, but I couldn't hear. And I'm not lying. That had never happened to me before, ever. You know how you see it in movies when they put it on, the person is
Mhm.
talking, I would always say, oh my God, that is ridiculous. In an emergency or whatever, or in a place like that, I'm going to hear every word. That's what I used to say. But when my son got diagnosed and I experienced the deafness that you go through when something like that is told to you, um, I was broken again. I went through that. I think, when he got diagnosed, and I used to cry and cry and cry, because back then when he was diagnosed, there were hardly any, you know, um, anything for them. Hardly
No
anything. Even
tools.
schools, yeah,
No
no tools,
tools,
and
no
schools had
support.
no programs. We had no support, really, no support whatsoever. So I was lost in all of this. I was lost in my son's diagnosis and his tantrums and everything, and I will cry a lot. And my ex-husband, I'm crying one time, and because he had just thrown a huge tantrum. I was tired from it all day, right? And you cannot reason with them, so you just have to hear them scream or whatever, and just hope that it's gonna end soon. So I'm over here crying, heartbroken, because seeing my son go from a very happy-go-lucky, speaking two different languages and everything, go to nonverbal and no not having the ability to look at me or understand me. It was horrible. So that day he comes from work and he finds me crying. And then he's like, what's wrong? And I said, oh, I just had a hard day. I said, I can't believe his the diagnosis. I just don't get it. And he said, get over it. Look, do what I did. I cry one day, got it over with, and now I'm looking forward to see how I can help my sons. Just get over it. Otherwise, you're going to be of no help to him. Those were his words to a broken-hearted mother, the mother of his children, not a stranger, Miss Marlene, the mother of his kids. And that broke my heart even more because the one person, right, that we have trusted, married, raised kids with, have a diagnosis like that with, dismisses your pain, your brokenness, and tells you to get over it because he doesn't want to be looking at you crying or or oh, she just needed a good cry. Now she's okay. You know what I mean? Like there's nothing. So when you live with people like that or you encounter people like that, when you're broken, you are broken forever if you stay with people like that or you surround yourself with people like that.
Yeah, and I think that's the part that nobody actually wants to admit. Most people, they push their feelings to the back of the closet. Number one, because most people in society were taught that as little boys, you don't cry. And as little girls, you got to be strong and you can't let things break you and you don't let people see you sweat. So we're taught this persona of how we should appear and how we should look to other people, and inside of you you're literally broken, you're dying, you're sad, you're angry, you have all of these emotions pent up inside of you, but you cannot show it to the outside world. So one thing in my brokenness, I learned to be fake.
Mhm.
And that's not a good thing.
Nope.
It's not a
I,
good. And I did that for so many years on the job. Oh yeah, at school, everywhere I was with the family. Oh yeah, I'm doing good, smiling all the time. And I was not. For me,
mm,
that was my way of coping with my brokenness.
yeah.
I don't want to talk about it because talking about it makes it real and I have to relive it, and I don't want to think about it anymore.
Yeah, and again, you don't have a safe space to go through to and say, hey, this is what I'm feeling, this is where I'm going, so that you can become genuinely happy, right? So you have to fake it till you make it because you have no one and nobody understands. And if you open up, you have the fear of, are they going to use that against me later on? Are they going to take advantage of my pain, right? Are they going to, whatever, in any way, use me and break me even more? So you don't have a safe place unless you have a therapist, and you have to work around people that have no idea what you go through every day, how hard it is for you to get up every morning and start the day with a smile. When in reality, what you want to do is cry, and hide yourself and never get out of the safe space that you live in at home.
Yeah, I learned for myself. That was a part of my brokenness is I learned to put on this fake persona.
Hmm.
Well, as soon as I step outside of the house, now I have to go into the Marlene that is happy. Everything is right in my life. I'm at peace. Things are good. But I knew, I knew how I felt. And the thing about it, in my brokenness, I was, what do you call it? I was dysfunctional only at home. I
Mm.
knew when I was outside, I knew I had to keep my job.
Yes.
I knew I had to be, do certain things where you be in business mode because you got to keep the money going. You got to keep
Yeah.
your family unit going. But when I would be in my room with the door closed, that's when the meltdown happened and the crying. And it was I got used to, it was normal for me to go to bed with the tears on my pillow.
Hmm.
That was my only comfort when I was having a bad day. I used to say to I cannot wait to go home and cry. That is
Hmm.
not good.
Yes, it is not.
Yeah.
But again, Miss Marlene, you're in survival mode, right? We are out in the world. We need, like you said, the money to keep a roof over our heads and our families' heads, to, feed our family, to pay bills, whatever. But we need that income coming. So we have to continue to survive and not showing how cracked, our interior is, how broken it is, how every day, a piece of you falls from that crack, because you have to continue this. Sometimes I'm okay, fake, like you said, persona, that everything is cool, everything is okay, everything is happy, everything is, yeah, whatever you want, whatever you need, I'm here, even if it's not something that you want to do, but you want to please others
Mm-hmm.
so that they don't see you, because you're afraid that if they see you, they're not gonna like what they see.
Mm-hmm. You just act like you pretend like you have it all together, and you don't have it together. Everything is not right. But that's the one thing that I think it's a protection mode. For me, I stayed in that bubble, like that fakeness, because that's how I was able to handle life. As long as I act, oh, I'm smiling, I'm happy, everything's perfect, it's good. For me, my brokenness caused me to pour myself into work. It was a work,
Mm-hmm.
work, 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 work. As long as I'm working, I'm taking care of my family, I'm being a good person. But I was not balanced, Miss Nexie, because of some things that happened to me in my life and traumas. And after a while, you're broken from one thing, and it seems like the brokenness, you just get more and more shattered, because of not dealing with things. So it's like, this happened to you at this age, and this happened, and this happened, and this happened. And it gets to be one day where it's the straw that breaks the camel's back. It doesn't even have
Mm-hmm.
to be anything that is a big deal. And I had a all out meltdown, and I was like, yeah, you need to get some help, because I
Mm-hmm.
really didn't know. I didn't know, like, I had a complete meltdown over it, and it was nothing, but that's what it was for me. So I put myself in therapy because I knew that I needed help to cope with so many things that I had just let go from the years from my childhood, teen years, into my 20s. And then it wasn't until mm, my dad got sick with cancer. That's when I feel like that's when the bottom fell out.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't handle anything else. Like, I thought I was doing a good job all along, even though I wasn't. But I was telling myself I was doing such a good job. But that was like the last straw for me, because my dad is and forever will be my best friend. And it was
Mm-hmm.
like, no, not this.
Yeah,
I can
this
I
I
can
cannot
handle
handle.
anything else. I can handle anything else. Don't mess with my dad.
Yeah, for me, I think that, again, I started therapy not because I seeked it or I wanted it. It was because it was a mandatory thing for for my degree. But I think is the best thing that ever happened to me, because, again, because we are always, three steps ahead of people because of what we've been through. Um, I I was overwhelmed. I was super tired, Miss Marlene, super tired of always having to keep my anger, my disappointment, my negative feelings, um, from people around me, including my partner, inside, keep him in check, and not, because he had the tendency of yelling, right? And
Mm-hmm.
doing that, it was horrible. And I'm not like that. I don't like to yell. I like to sit down and tell you. But a narcissist doesn't sit down and allow you to say anything, right? They shut you up, and they, get up and say, I don't need this, and whatever. So I didn't have anyone. I couldn't even talk to that person. So once I started therapy, that I started that, my therapist said, okay, this is mandatory. So either you do it or you don't get to have the career that you want. So you have to take it seriously, right? Without saying that. And
Mm-hmm.
once I started doing that, I started learning more and more about, you know, n- I don't need to yell, right, at this person. I can, just stand my ground and say, you need to listen to me now, or write it down, give it to them, whatever it is that, but you don't have to take that anymore. If communication verbally doesn't work, then write a letter, leave a message, whatever it is that you need to do, but you need to get your
Mm-hmm.
point across. I started doing that. I will mail letters. I will sometimes, when email came out, I will email to the personal email. But once I started doing that, I learned that even though I am someone that is very rational in an emergency, in tragedy and anything, I'm a very rational person. I don't freak out. I go into protective mode and help mode. Right? What can I do? How can I do this? And more effectively, how can, even if it's someone that I love, it's weird the way that my mind and body work. And I think it has to do again with what we were saying, our childhood. I come from a country of war for 12 years, that we went through that, and that puts you in a different level of crazy.
Mm-hmm.
So I started going through therapy, and I started learning that, that, as you said earlier, because you're a girl, keep your emotions in check. Don't bother whatever, because you're a girl. You have to be strong. You cannot be telling them everything that bothers you. You're the head of your family. They need you strong. I had to learn to unlearn that, right? And I also had to learn to communicate my needs, and if they didn't receive that communication, continue to do what I needed. Eventually they were going to learn that, to listen to me when I was saying, I'm taking 3 days off and I'll see you guys later, take care of the kids.
Yep.
And then, hey, where are you at? I told you. Didn't you? Oh, I didn't hear you. Then that's your problem. I'll see you Monday.
Yeah. I think that's what,
I learned all that in therapy. To
yeah.
stand up for me, to be there for me, Miss Marlene, to show up for me when nobody else does that. And it taught me to open up with my sisters. And that's why eventually I told them what had happened. And now we work through that together.
Mm. See, and that's what I'm talking about. The brokenness happens a lot of times is because we are trying to carry that that pain, that hurt, that trauma, that abuse, that whatever, lack of support, that abandonment. All of it gets stirred up inside of us. And one day you're going to blow your top, because nobody is meant to hold that all on their own. And I'm not saying that it has to be for a relative. Miss Nexie, you're very blessed to be able to have sisters that support you in that, but that's not the scenario for everybody, you know.
Hmm.
um but it doesn't matter where you get your support. What matters is that you do get support. So wherever you find that support, whether it's your therapist, whether it's through your faith, it's through giving back to your community, it's through whatever you use as your talent and your gifts. Or what I love to do for my brokenness is turn my pain into my power. And that's what I do through my motivational speaking, my life coaching. I take the things that could have kept me broken, and I choose to talk about those things. I choose to learn, I choose to grow through it. And it's growing pains and personal growth and development, and not allowing the fear to paralyze you anyway anymore, because that's what brokenness brokenness does to a lot of people. When things happen to you, it's the choice that you make up in your mind. This is too much. or you can say, this was me, this was hurtful, you confront it, this happened to me, but I'm not going to allow it to break me. And that's one of the reasons why I am so adamant about being the voice of the voiceless, helping those who have special needs, those who are elderly, those who have been abused in any form. I'm very adamant about that because there was many years where I was a voiceless person, but I didn't feel like there's anybody that I could talk to about it. Uh-oh. Let me add my co-host. I didn't even know when you dropped down.
Oh, I was listening. I wasn't gonna make any
I
noise.
hope you're
I was
back,
just,
Miss
oh my
Nexie.
God, yeah, she's
Hope you can
talking. I don't
hear
want.
me.
Yes.
Um,
Can you
but
can you hear me?
I never knew
Can
when
you hear me? I'm sorry, Miss.
I could be so strong. So I'm saying this message to all of my loved ones here. We don't always have to be the strong one. It's okay to be the sad person. It's okay to be the one that doesn't have the control. It's okay that you want to talk about things. And I don't mean talk about things with everybody, I mean talk about it in a safe environment, safe spaces, the places that I mentioned earlier. But that's what counts to me, is shifting from saying I'm broken to saying I have options, that there's hope for me. I think that's what really changed my life when I was really depressed, really wanted to end my life because of some traumatic things that happened to me in my life. And I'm not saying that that's going to happen for everybody. Some people's brokenness is something completely different. But whatever it is, when things break you down, it's about what you do with that energy. And I think that's the reason why a lot of people have a lot of mental health issues, because they don't do anything with all of that pent up, whatever it is, that brokenness. Most people don't know what to do with it. And for
Uh,
me, and I'm just speaking for myself, I took all of that pent up anger and frustration and sadness and hurt, and I took that into giving back and helping people and working on myself. That is what I did with my brokenness.
Miss Marlene, I don't know if you can hear me now. Can
Miss
you hear
Nexie, are
me?
you there?
Yes, I'm here. I don't know why you cannot hear.
I am not hearing you. Hopefully, Miss Nexie is going to come back. But that's what I did with my brokenness. I took the things that hurt me, and not that I can delete it, not that you can say it never happened to you, but taking those things and then doing something about it.
Can you hear me, Miss Marlene?
Yes, Miss Nexie, I
Oh,
hear you
thank you.
perfectly.
I don't know. I had to go in and out a couple of times. This is crazy. But I want to follow on what you said. Like, you took everything and turned, everything into what you are, right? What you're doing, giving and everything. What I want to say to people, Miss Marlene, because this is the part that a lot of people don't know or are not aware of sometimes, or maybe don't understand. Your title is it's perfect, because once broken, forever broken, right? We are forever broken, Miss Marlene. People like you and I that have been, again, on survival mode, on overload from every angle since childhood, we are not able to um, put those pieces together without having those scars, and having the understanding that you are going to be that broken child for the rest of your life. The difference between being that broken child, living in brokenness, or living in the known that you are broken, but you're living a better life because you're taking care of yourself, or you're doing therapy and you're trying to overcome that, you're never going to, right? We're always going to be broken. So there's the difference there. You either go through life broken and leaving broken, or you go through life knowing that you are broken, you forever will be like that, but you're going to do whatever it takes to deal with the demons you have inside, whatever it takes to heal or calm your soul, and live the best life you can live, of course accepting the fact that you are always broken, but
Yeah.
better, a better broken person, taking care of your mental health, your emotional health, your spiritual health, whatever it is that you need to take care of. Because accepting the fact that we are broken and that we will forever be that person allows us to seek the help that we need. And that's the one thing I had to accept, Miss Marlene. I had to accept that therapy was not gonna make me forget what happened to me. Therapy
Mhm.
was not gonna make me a better 5-year old and forget everything of what happened to the little 5-year old child, up until the age of probably, I don't know, 10, 11. um that therapy was not going to do that. What therapy was going to, because it was not going to be able to return my childhood, right? It was not going to be able to go back in time and fix that so that I don't have to. It was not going to give me the ability to know what I would have been if none of that would have happened, right? But therapy helped me deal with the fact that there's nothing that I can do to fix that, but there is a lot that I can do by accepting that I am broken. I'm an imperfect human. I'm going to continue to live and probably die broken because I am, but I can be the best version of the broken me, to give
Yeah.
to the world a better me, to give to my children a better broken me. But accepting was the first thing that I had to do. So knowing that you have those pieces of you that are missing, that are broken, that are shattered, and that you probably will never be able to trust or love like somebody else does. You will never have that ability because they broke that out of you long ago. But accepting the fact that you can at least know what love is because you already
Mhm.
fixed your heart a little.
Yeah. I think my thing is I can't ever say I will be fully. I can't, because like you said, you can't ever be like, you can't undo the things that happened to you, those trauma, that abuse,
Hmm.
that whatever, the things that people did to us to have us broken, or life breaking us from for whatever situation that happened. We can't have that happen, but what we can do is we can shift our coping skills,
Hmm.
and that was something that I did not possess pre therapy. That was a post therapy. I have to remind myself when I know when I'm getting into that zone of I am going to probably
Seeing red.
isolate. Yeah, I'm gonna isolate myself for like about 2 or 3 days. I don't want to talk to anybody, and that is the broken part of me. That was my comfort zone. Anytime where I was feeling uncomfortable or sad, I would just push myself into my little rabbit hole and ignore everybody, because that's how I coped. But
Hmm.
the healed version of myself, the new improved version of me, I know that, okay, yes, take some breaks, deal with yourself, but also reach out to the people who really care about me, because they're going to encourage me. That's what I didn't do before, because I didn't know I had the option, that it was okay, that there were safe people that I could talk to.
Yeah,
Mhm.
and therapy does that to you, Miss Marlene. It allows you to see that. It allows you to know that you're not alone. You're not the only one that is broken too, right? It allows you to see
Mhm.
that there's a lot of people that have, some of them have support groups that you can join. Um, they have, I don't know, walking groups that you can join to kind of relieve your mind a little bit of your overthinking, because we tend to do that, right? As people that have, again, been on survival mode, overload, we overthink everything. Our actions, our words, our activities, our free time, everything, our family, and whatever we're doing, we're overthinking our work. So
Mhm.
you have to sometimes, with therapy, they teach you how to organize your thoughts and your time so that you can have a thinking session and then give your brain a little
Mhm.
break, because that's what the therapist showed me. He helped me kind of get a little, okay, from this time to this time, go on, think everything, and then relax, rest. And then if you have to continue on again. So I learned how to manage, my thinking time, my overload brain. I started asking, how can I, asking people for, like, not asking, but opening up a little bit more with friends, right? Allowing them to see that I care, that I love them, that I was there for them, that I was grateful that they were there for me, and kind of open a little bit up. But it helped me because before therapy, I never got close to anyone, ever. Like, if I started feeling something, Miss Marlene, I will right away push it away. Nope.
Mhm.
She's my best friend. Yes, I get it. But still, I had that, I'm not sure, protection mode, friendship. So I am now able to have those friendships, and I have, four best friends that I've been best friends for years, and I can be myself and I trust them, right? I've learned to do that. Without therapy, I would have never been able to do that. I'm not saying, Miss Marlene, that therapy is for everyone. I'm not saying that. And we're not promoting that, right? We're not
No.
therapists, we're nothing. What we're saying is that that worked for us.
Mhm.
And it made us this new version of us. Because I always say new, it's like a new version of me, of I would have been able to be, I think. That's what I always say. Through therapy, I was able to work on all those feelings, you know, understand what I was feeling, because I don't know if you went through this, Marlene, that you didn't understand what was going on with you. Why every time you went somewhere, at least for me, and I was overwhelmed, I was super tired by the time I got home, or I was overwhelmed because I was already thinking of the place, and I never understood why that happened until I started
Mhm.
therapy. And those
Yep.
feelings, right, they help you kind of like dive in and organize and think, and sort them out and find out why, the why of certain things. So I'm grateful for therapy, because I'm able to do that now, and I have been able to do that for years.
Yeah, and for me, the therapy was a stepping stone to other things. Like, in the beginning, I heavily needed therapy. Then it got to be the therapy got me to support groups, and then the support groups got me to finding healthier relationships, and that got me to reading books and wanting to do more with that. And then I started talking about some of the things that I experienced. And then here I am now as a life coach. And I just feel that that's just the beginning. When you're broken, yes, it's going to be you're broken. Once broken, I believe always broken. But it's what you do with your brokenness. That's
Hmm.
that's the my growth. That's my happiness and my joy now is I this happened to me, and because of that, look at all of the benefits. Now I have real good friends Now I know how to be a friend to myself. Now I know about boundaries. Now I know that when I'm feeling some type of way, it's okay. I can cry. I can journal. That doesn't make me a bad person. It just means that I have a past. I've been through
Hmm.
some things, I have battle, as my therapist would say, I have battle scars.
Yes, we do.
Yeah. But
Yes, we do.
but those battle scars show our strength and our courage and our own inner light. So,
And not our weakness.
and not our
Eh,
weakness.
yeah, and Miss Marlene, again, we're not saying we're perfect. What we're saying is that we're imperfect, but in the eyes of God, of course, we're all perfect, right? But we're imperfect humans that are trying
Mhm.
their best with the brokenness they travel with inside every day.
Yep.
I learned to put myself first, Miss Marlene. I think I told you that I've learned. I once I was going through therapy. It's been like 20 years since I've been doing that, because before I will be everybody's go to, everybody's helping hand, everybody's everything, right? But now I have learned to put myself first, and if I don't want to do something, I can say no, I don't want to. Oh, I'm not going to because I don't want to. No excuses, no lies, just don't feel like it. But maybe next time, right? Not in a disrespectful way. I'm just saying, like that's the thing that I do for me now. Because before, when I was everybody's everything, therapist, auntie, mom, sister, in law,
Mhm.
whatever I was taking everybody's orders, right? And there was
Mhm.
nothing left for me at the end of the day when everybody got their orders. Everybody got their whatever they ordered, and I was empty. There was nobody there for me. So
Mhm.
I started putting myself first, and I started noticing that the anxiety or the worry, of course it didn't leave right away, but all of that faded away as I was putting myself first, taking care of me first. I was seeing that I was even better for those people that were once taking advantage of me, because I was able to say, hey, look, I am nice, but you're taking advantage of my kindness, and that's not right.
Mhm.
I'm your sister, I'm your in-law, I'm your auntie, whatever, right? But it's not right that you're doing that, because I don't do that to you, and it's because I love you. So I was able to do that. I was able to be a better in-law, a better sister, a better mom, a better auntie, because I was taking care of me first. I wasn't on overload and not caring, just doing because I had to. I was now doing it because I wanted to, and enjoying time with everyone because I wanted to, not because I had to. So I was
Yeah.
a better person because I started putting myself first. And a lot of people take this as I put myself first and everybody else has to go away and only me, me, me. That's not what putting yourself first is in the
No.
context that we're doing it. The reason why we're putting ourselves first is because our mental health and our physical health and everything else depends on it. But as soon as we are okay internally and able to do things, we help everybody else around us. And everybody matters: our moms, our dads, our uncles, our aunties, our brothers, our sisters. And we do a better job of being their family if we take care of ourselves. And if we have problems, we deal with it head on. We don't hide, we don't lie. We go at it and get it over with and continue on the family. We're not saying erase them, we're saying embrace them, but at your own pace.
Mhm. Yep. That's the truth though, Miss Nexie. And I want to say this, that don't let don't compare your situation to anybody else. Over here on the Sip and Chat, we celebrate individuality, having hard conversations, putting things out there, not just with any and everybody, but here on the Sip and Chat, where it's a safe space. This is not a judgment, it's a judgment free zone. because we're supportive of one another's growth. Sometimes it's putting those boundaries on your children or spouse or friends, or even limiting how much your job accesses you on your time off. It's
Mm-hmm.
all of those things that sometimes that brokenness comes from us not advocating for ourselves. Because I know for me, I never had anybody to say, maybe you don't want to do that, or maybe that's not a good idea. Is that really what Marlene likes? I spent so many years of my life doing what everybody wanted me to do because I didn't want to quote unquote rock the boat, that
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even know what Marlene wanted. So it took me a while to actually figure out, what do I like, and what are my favorite colors, and what do I like to eat. You'll be so broken that you don't even know what you like,
Yeah,
because you're
it's
doing
true.
things that what your family likes, what your job likes, what your spouse likes, what your friends like, that there's no room in the pie for yourself because you have not giving yourself the permission to find out what you like, much less even care about yourself. So that's some of the things that brokenness can do to you, but it's also that we have a hope outside of that. Yeah, people did things. Yes, people took advantage of you, myself, Miss Nexie, and many other people. It's millions of people in the world that get taken advantage of. But after that brokenness, now what do you do? Are you going to be a different version of yourself? Are you going to create generational healing, or are you going to stay in that generational brokenness? And that's one of the things that I'm the most proud about myself, is that I've had every reason to stay broken, but
Mm-hmm.
I said no. I wanted something better for not only myself but the next generation, to teach
Exactly.
them. Yeah, yeah,
Beautifully said, Miss Marlene. And it's so true. We cannot just, once you are in a place where you can process your trauma and understand that having been traumatized or whatever doesn't mean that people can use you as any way they please. Once you have that in check, you can help and try to kind of heal the rest of the family in a way, and break those cycles of having to be in families that are talking to each other, continuously making each other's miserable, so you can actually do better for the next generation if you take care of yourself.
yeah. So for me, Miss Sexy, it's honestly about making the choice. And anytime I feel like I'm about to crash out, or if I feel like I'm sad because it's an anniversary of maybe when that abuse, maybe when the anniversary of that traumatic event, or whenever you remember what that jerk did to you, and you feel triggered, like sometimes it just comes into your mind. Maybe you'll feel the anger come up. Maybe you'll feel the tears well up in your eyes. But it's what you do at those moments. And for me, in the brokenness, instead of hiding and covering it up, now I know that I'm a better version of me, because I'll say, I'm sad today. And I'm
Hmm.
just going to let myself be sad. And it's okay to be sad. I talk myself through that instead of sitting the whole day crying in bed and doing nothing, like won't get up, won't take a shower, won't eat. I just want to be sad today because that was the choice. I thought I had no other choice but to let my emotions control me. But the thing about it is, now I give myself limits. put a timer on, and I said, okay, you want to feel sad today? That's cool. I'll give you 30 minutes. I'll give you an hour. Feel sorry for yourself. Whine, have your temper tantrum, say what you want to say. And then when the timer goes, I say, okay, that's enough. Now we're going to get up and get on with our day. I do
Exactly.
that, Miss Nexty. I have to put a time limit on my brokenness. I said, okay, you want to feel sorry for yourself? Okay, sad, pathetic little Marlene. Have your little pity party. Play your little fiddle, And, and okay, you want some cheese? You want some cheese with that with that wine? And I let myself have it.
Oh man. Yeah, again, it's something that you learn, you you learn as you go, right? It's not something that it hits you all at once. Um I am not very good, Miss Marlene, when I see people cry. I know, no, I'm no good, and you know that. I am no good.
Mhm.
I said, "Oh, no, 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 you're not gonna cry." I don't know why. I don't like to see people crying. And it's not that it bothers me, but it hurts. I don't know. It's weird. It's a weird feeling. But
Yeah.
I don't like it. I feel very uncomfortable when I see someone I love cry, or it just, I just have to walk away because it makes me feel a certain kind of way. It's weird. But I do sometimes have my own little, feeling sad days. And um I have this place that I make myself go, Miss Marlene, when I'm feeling like
Mhm.
that. I There's a place that I hike at, and there is like it's a field. It's very open, and it's very quiet. Hardly anyone goes up there because it's really, really high. I go there, and I'm just there with my feelings and my thoughts, and I stay there for as long as I need to, either to cry, to pray, to be upset, to whatever it is that I need to. I find my place and I go, because if not, I'm not going to feel my best, I guess. Is the only way I can put it.
Yeah. Yes, and I want to read a comment that's in the chat from let's see, from Mix Swagger 4K. Embracing your emotions is better than burying them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, because
Exactly.
look how many people, Miss Nexie, that they literally will be buried, like literally in life, because they make themselves sick, and you know you will make yourself sick by not dealing with things. And that was me for a long time, not talking about it, like ignoring things that I knew was bothering me, but I didn't want to talk about it. But it will catch up to you. And it's not always that it's going to show up in anger, but sometimes it shows up in being overprotective, or being cold, or being unsupportive to people because maybe you were unsupported. And we
Mm-hmm.
we don't try to do those things to people, but when you've been broken, when people have done things to you, you've been backstabbed, um people have done things very grimy to you, with when it comes to financially, or in a romantic relationship, and cheating, and disrespect, and abuse, and the laundry list can go on and on. When things happen to us, it's easy for us to stay in that space and continue to be that way, or we can do some of that working on ourselves, and it doesn't mean it's going to go away. We're not going to undo it. You can't hit the backspace button, but what you can do is, how do you deal with your life in the present? Okay, if you're feeling sad, feel sad. Have your times where you deal with your emotions and you journal. But I had to learn in the brokenness that there's a healthier way to do it, besides trying to bust a bottle over somebody's head.
Mm-hmm. Whoa, 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 whoa. We went there fast.
Yeah, that escalated quickly.
Woo. Yeah, again, the acceptance of your flaws or whatever you want to call it, or mistakes, or your shortcomings, whatever it is they want to call them, the acceptance that you have them, it makes you want to fix them, right? Like everything in life. If you have a nice house and it's beautiful, but you have this door that every time you open it, it creaks or it unhinges a little, and you see it every day, and you're like, oh my God, I have to address this door because it's driving me crazy. The same goes for our feelings, for our emotions, for whatever it is that we're going through. A- And by fixing, I don't mean that you're going to be perfect, because nobody's perfect, except me, of course, but nobody else is. And so fixing it is not that it's going to be the solution to your problems and you're never going to make a mistake again. That's not what we're saying. But what we're saying is, the more we deal with our imperfections, the more we deal with how sometimes we bottle things inside, or how sometimes we keep people at arm's length, or whatever it is, those things that we do, the more we deal with them, the better we are going to become at fixing what is broken,
Yes.
right?
Yeah.
So we have to deal with it. Saying, I don't want to know, I don't want to do it, no, I don't have the time, I don't have this. As Miss Marlene said before, eventually it catches up with you. And when you're caught, it's going to be a lot harder for you to fix it, because you already, if God forbids that happens, but I've seen people that already have, diabetes from all that anger and hatred and whatever that they keep, sometimes cancers or other conditions, because they don't want to deal with whatever it is that they have inside that is bothering them. They don't want to let go, because they don't want to be wrong, because they want the other person to know that they still hurt from whatever it is that they did to them, right? But
Hmm.
if you don't want to end up like that, as you said earlier, you have to address these things. You have to, if you're going to talk to someone, write them down, read it over and over, and see if it makes sense that you're angry for whatever it is that you're angry for. Ask for forgiveness. It's okay. They don't have to forgive you. But if you ask from your heart, you're going to feel better, because your job is done. They don't have to forgive you if you have offended someone. But the fact that you had the guts to ask for that forgiveness, that makes you better. And now you're dealing with that, right?
Hmm.
So dealing with it is the best way to go. Ignoring it, pushing it aside like we did, it's not a good thing. It's not a
Yeah.
good outcome.
Yeah. And the thing about that, Miss Nexie, is for any who was like myself or Miss Nexie, and you were, you're supposed to be tough and you're supposed to be strong. That gets to that, it's very draining and heavy to
Mhm.
always have to be the strong one, never getting to be vulnerable. Everybody has to have people that they can be vulnerable with, people that they trust. And like myself, I had to learn that that doesn't have to always equate to your relatives. You can find yourself your support group, your therapist, your whoever it is, people that have a track record of keeping their mouth closed when you
Mm,
share personal and private things. You have to have people who have that track record. You don't just share what you're going through with anybody because they ask you.
mhm,
People have to develop, they have to develop and earn your trust when you have been broken in some way, because it's usually a trust issue. Somebody did something that disturbed you, that was very mean, or for many reasons did something that was very wrong to you. So that will give you some trauma, some anger. That part is okay, as you should. You're supposed to be angry, you're supposed to be pissed off when someone does things that's abusive and hurtful to you. You're supposed to. That's justified. But staying in that space for the rest of your life of being angry,
Hmm.
that part isn't good.
No, it's not. And that's what I tell people, Miss Marlene. I tell people, let it, I'm not saying let it go and go back to being the best friend in the world. I'm not saying that. But you have to face that person someday. You have to go there. Not for that person, right? But for you, so that you can let it go and so that you can grow as a person. Hiding in those feelings, that doesn't allow you to grow. It doesn't allow you to learn from that mistake. If anything, it keeps you there because you're not dealing with it, as they say, right?
Yep, that's so true, Miss Nexie. I think that's a good place to pause, and then we're gonna bring this into next week. But is there any final thoughts that you have on today's sip and chat about brokenness?
What I just said, Miss Marlene, is that we have to face whatever it is that we have done or face the people that have wronged us in one way or another. We have to. Somebody wronged you, you have to face that person. I'm not saying attack or anything like that. No, but you have to question them. You have to address them and find out the why. And then, you know, let it go. Not forget it because you never will, right? But let it go so that you can, have a stress-free life. But you have to address those things. Don't just let it go year and year and year and year after year after year. That's not healthy for you. And it's not
Mm-hmm.
good for you, for your overall health. So address it, face it head on and just be the best version of you. That's the only thing I can say. Broken, we're always going to be, but be that broken person that can grow, that can love, that can trust.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Oh, my final thoughts on this topic about brokenness is that yes, once broken, always broken, but the heaviness of your brokenness, that's what counts. You can have some things that is so hard to handle, but with the coping tools, the tips, via whatever it is that is going to lift some of that burden, whether it's therapy or coaching, your faith, you're giving back to your community, getting into using your gifts, doing some things to that you find purpose in your life. Because when you get broken, backstab, hurt, abused, you feel like you lose yourself, and you got to find some things to pour into yourself so that you can see the beauty in yourself, and your life is giving yourself meaning after the storm. Okay, so those are
Okay.
my thoughts on today's topic. And anybody, if you feel a way where you're not coping well, I'm always going to encourage you to seek some help, some guidance, whatever that means for you. I'm not here to tell you what you should do and who you should go to, but I'm just saying, whether that's picking up a journal or getting to a therapist, or stepping into whatever you believe in spiritually, or what giving back to your community, getting into a hobby, but you have to do something so that you can find some meaning, some pleasure, and some joy in your life. Thank you, Miss
There you go.
Nexie.
Thank you for having me, Miss Marlene. And thank you, chatters, for supporting Miss Marlene. Don't forget to hit that like. If you're not subscribed, subscribe. And say hello to Miss Marlene on the replay, people. Thank you, Miss Marlene, for having me. Have a
Thank
wonderful
you.
evening, everyone.
Yes, thank you. And we're going to end with the Sip and Chat song that was made for all of my beloved loved ones, for the Sip and Chat, for myself and Miss Nexie, and all of you loved ones. May you be healed, may you be happy, and may you be blessed.
chair, leave your worries at the door. Whatever's on your mind, you don't have to carry it no more. The steam is rising from the cup, the vibe is feeling right. We're diving deep into the soul, we're searching for the light. From the aches and the pains to the joys we finally find. It's the sip and chat, the healing of the mind. It's Marlene and Miss Nexie, side by side. No secret too heavy, nowhere left to hide. They're pouring out their hearts just to fill yours up again. A conversation started between two good friends. Whoa, this is the Sip and Chat, the weekly place to be, where we talk about the heart and we set the spirit free. Pour a little love, take a little sip. Life is a journey, the message is clear. Love is all you need, love is all, and you'll find it right here. Yeah. Matters of the heart, yeah, we're breaking down the walls. Learning how to stand up even after all the fall. Self-love is the lesson, self-care is the key. Becoming the person that you're meant to be. So watch the videos and join the weekly flow. We're planting the seeds to help your garden grow. Turn those notifications on, don't miss a single drop of the wisdom. Because you deserve to feel better, you deserve to heal. Where we talk about the heart and we set the spirit free. Pour a little love, the message is clear. Love is all you need, and you'll find it right here. Sip and chat, sip and chat. Love yourself better, love yourself better. Weekly podcast, pouring out that soul. Marlene and Miss Nexie, making hearts whole. Oh yeah, making hearts whole.
Thank you guys. See you guys next week.